MATLAB has several built-in sort functions. The function named sort will sort a vector in ascending order by default, or in descending order if you specify. For example, we create a vector of random integers, each in the range from 1 to 20, and then sort the vector. By default, we get it sorted in ascending order. Or if we call the function and pass a second argument, which is the string descend, we will instead get it in descending order. Of course, we have other ways of doing that. We don't really need that option, but MATLAB gives us that option for the sort function. For a matrix, of course, if you pass a matrix to the sort function, it will sort every individual column. Also, if you want to sort on the rows instead of the columns, you could say sort mate comma 2. So that specifies the second dimension, which in MATLAB is the rows. So that would sort based on the rows rather than the columns. If you wanted to sort strings alphabetically, you have several options. If we create a cell array that stores the strings, we can use the sort function to sort them alphabetically. However, if we take that cell array and convert it to a character matrix using the built-in function char, that's going to give a matrix of individual characters in the elements, and the sort function, since we're passing a matrix, is going to do what any function in MATLAB does with a matrix, and that is it's going to go column by column. So it's going to sort every individual column. So in the first column we have PBC, that becomes BCP. In the second column we have HIH, that becomes HHI, and so forth. Question number 1. Fill in the result. Here's a random matrix. What do we get from sort of the matrix? The function sort rows will sort the rows within a column vector. For example, if you had a column vector of strings, in other words, a character matrix. So if you have strings, this is going to yield an alphabetical sort. So again, if we start with the cell array and we convert that to a character matrix. So now in our character matrix, we have 4 strings. We have physics, biology, chemistry, biochemistry. So of course if we sorted that, it would just sort column by column. But sort rows, what sort rows does is it sorts these as rows. It sorts the rows based on going through column by column. So in other words, if we look at the first column, we have P, B, C, B. So the B's are the same. We know those are smaller, but we're not sure which one is smaller. So we have to go over to the next column. I is the same. Next column, O is the same. Next column, the C is less than the L. So we've determined that biochemistry is the smallest row, so that becomes the first row in the resulting matrix. And then the other row that started with B, in this case biology, and then the next starts with C, and the next starts with P. So again, it's sorting entire rows based on going column by column until it can figure out which row is the smallest. So that works for strings. For strings we get an alphabetical sort, but that also works for numbers. Question 2. Here's a random matrix. What would we get from sort rows of the matrix?